This is going to be more of a personal video rather than one I'm really trying to make. I'm going to use this more as sort of like a journal to keep track of how I feel about Xrd now and then later when rollback comes out. I experimented with Xrd before, like I probably put like 5 hours into it before the rollback announcement, and now I've put like 25 into it. Fortunately, I have a Discord full of people who are also learning the game where we're sort of around-ish the same skill level. So far I really like the game, but at the same time there's still some things that kind of bug me about it. This is like a general thing that happens with fighting games where they kind of gatekeep the fun behind an execution barrier, and that's not a bad thing at all. That's like something that's like almost expected, that you can really engage with the game. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of execution barriers, though I do really like BlazBlue, mainly because I feel like you can access very dumb, very fun, effective stuff pretty early on, but if you want to get to the super effective stuff, that's where it's sort of gatekept. With Xrd, it still feels like I'm not really playing the game yet. I'm still trying to overcome the execution barrier, despite me already having decent execution stuff from the other fighting games I've played. That being said, I do think I like the combo variety in Xrd a little bit. Like, sometimes I just be mashing buttons, and that's a combo right there. I much prefer astrals to instant kills. I think instant kills are fine as kind of as they are, but at the same time I much prefer sort of astrals because A, it's a lot more like, oh shit, they're prepping for an astral, and then B, you kind of have to hold on to it, and it's like a really good closer. Like, you see this really cool cutscene of like this epic slash that cuts through a house with Bikins, and then it's like Duel 2, and you're just like, oh, that, it, you know, it, the energy's all off. I really like the depth of character in Xrd. That is one thing that I think Xrd does really well, is a sort of how interesting they've made their characters. Like, one of my biggest problems with Strive right now is the fact that each character, or at least all the top tiers, hits you from a distance that you can't really punch them, but they can still apply pressure. While in Xrd, I mean, shit's just happening. Johnny sort of fits that boat. Elphelt not as much. She just kind of hits you with unblockables and says fuck you. You know, Johnny actually also hits you with unblockables. This game has a really degenerate amount of unblockables in the game. Like, the number of times I've been knowledge checked by like, oh, that's an air unblockable unless you FD is just absurd. So, final conclusions. I like Xrd. There's a lot of stuff it does really well. There's a lot of really crusty stuff that I don't really like in my fighting games. So that's my thoughts right now. We're gonna wait till after rollback gets introduced to see if maybe it's an online thing that I feel like the execution barrier is really fucking high, or if it's just like a skill issue, will hold this L fucking zoomer. Either way, I guess I'll see you all then.